is up, everybody? It's your boy the DJ, it's Ox here, and today is a very special episode of League of Legends. And it's not only because this is the first League video that I have edited since for 2 months maybe. It's been probably about 10 weeks. It is about my favorite game, Brawl Stars. When I started playing League, there were so many mechanics and champions and things that I saw that felt familiar, and so today I've put together, after a long time, a compilation of these things to show you guys today with side-by-side comparison of the mechanics, of the characters, of the skins, of whatever. So let's hop into probably one of my favorite videos I've ever made, Brawl Stars, but it's League of Legends. Here we go. Part 1, Champion Mechanics. Now, starting off for our first of 21 champion comparisons, this one is not hard to see. Both Annie and Nita summon a bear for either their ult or their super, and they also actually both have a panda skin to use in-game. Next is Brock and Jinx, who both have a missile launcher aspect to their character, and they also have Lunar New Year themed Chinese firecracker skins. When you face Caitlyn in League of Legends, you are anticipating a lot of long range, high damage pressure. Same with Piper, and they both have abilities that stack in bushes. Caitlyn's attacks count as 2 rather than 1 towards her headshot passive ability. Piper's star power, Ambush, allows her shots to do up to 800 extra damage when fired from a bush. Speaking of Piper, she and Master Yi both have passive cooldown reduction abilities. Piper's snappy sniping allows for her to reload 0.4 ammo every time she hits an enemy brawler. As for Master Yi, landing basic attacks on enemy minions, champions, or jungle monsters reduces the cooldown of his Q, Alpha Strike, by 1 second. Both of these abilities greatly increase the character's aggressive ability so long as you are careful and smart about hitting your shots. Every game has to have its toxic characters, and one of the many that come to mind when I think of League of Legends is Ziggs. Ziggs has so much range, so many annoying abilities, and ironically, most of those abilities have some sort of pairing in Brawl Stars. Whether it's his W, which mirrors Dynamite's Dynajump star power, also side note, it's called the exact same thing as Dynamite's second gadget, or his Q, Bouncing Bomb, that has the same rubbery mechanic as both Sprout's and Lilia's attacks. But my least favorite thing is this Champion's E, which is a long-range, multi-bombed attack that gives me PTSD of every time I have faced a tick in Brawl Stars. I mean, look at this. He can literally hit you off screen. And as the cherry on top, they both have snowman skins. Zillion and Squeak both have time bombs that can stick to enemy champions or brawlers and use those champions or brawlers as the center of the explosion radius, or they can just stay on the ground and anybody that walks into the radius when it explodes is damaged. Tara and Twisted Fate both throw 3 poker cards that can pierce through enemies, and I found that Zed's ult closely resembles her support from Beyond gadget's animation. The first time I faced a Vel'Koz was in Aram, and I was surprised to see an animation that looked very similar to Surge's basic attack. The projectile consistently, under the specific character's restrictions, splits into 2, creating a T-shape. Next up for another double whammy character comparison is Heimerdinger, my #1 least favorite champion to face in League of Legends. His abilities pair up with both Jessie and Nani from Brawl Stars. Heimerdinger and Jessie both place down turrets that attack enemies, and these are so annoying for the enemy team that they basically have to be dealt with before you could get back to damaging enemy brawlers, champions, or minions. While I was recording the Heimerdinger turret gameplay, I realized that his W is very similar to Nani's basic attack, with multiple projectiles firing in towards a single point for maximum damage, or fanning out after that point for widespread poke damage. There are so many mirrored abilities between these two games. Widespread area stun after a delay, invisibility, clone projection, damage over time from poison, and even ults that cross the map. Lu's super creates a circular, slippery snowstorm just like Anivia, and his gadget works exactly like Zanya's hourglass. Mecha Crow's dagger animation, though brief, looks a lot like Zaya's feathers before they're recalled. A very common game mechanic is pulling. Both Amumu and one of the newest brawlers, Buzz, throw out a projectile that, if on contact with an enemy, will pull them towards and then stun the opponent. Urgot, Blitzcrank, and Jean all do the opposite, reaching out with their abilities and pulling things towards them. And then there's Penny. Her shot on contact only does about 1200 damage, but it does split into 3 coin bags after contact with an enemy, so enemies directly behind their partners will actually take 3 times as much damage. This is a bit like Misfortune's Q, which is a homing cannonball that does do damage to the champion it was targeted on, but it can also damage enemies behind it. Games companies must have a thing for musical support characters. League has both Sona and Seraphine, Brawl Stars has Poco. And while all three do use different types of music to either heal or shield their allies, Sona's W more closely resembles Max's Super, which gives a speed boost to both them and friendly characters. And that brings us to our last back-to-back with Tristana and her connection to Gale and El Primo. Tristana's ult has the exact same idea as Gale's. Either fire a single or a series of projectiles, push your enemy back, push you back, and put max distance between the two. Whereas her W is a large aerial jump, which is exactly like El Primo's flying elbow drop super, which allows you to either jump into or away from enemies. And that will about do it for champion mechanics, so on to a much shorter part 2, champion skins. Cosmetics are always a very important aspect of a game, and a really easy way to monetize cosmetics is through character skins. Both Brawl Stars and League of Legends have an amazing selection of skins, many of which actually end up looking or sounding or being named pretty similarly. And although we have already seen skin comparisons between characters like Brock and Jinx and Ziggs and Tick, there are so many more cosmetic pairs or groups. Cupid Piper, Tango Evelynn, Katie Ari, the Sugar Rush skin line, Evelynn Space Model, and Trixie Colette. Come Christmas time, every game needs its Santa skins. Superfan Gragas and Ems, BB and Cyberpop Zoe with their bubblegum, tough, retro urban feel. Spicy Mike and Butcher Olaf. Bank robbers with red glasses, Safecracker Evelynn and Belle. Definitely less about the vibe and more about the look on this one, Emumu and Ems' base model. Captain Carl's less endearing counterpart in League is Bildret Rumble. Another name pair coincidence, Hot Rod Corky and Hot Rod Brock. Dark Lord Spike looks an awful lot like the most toxic Aram champion. In-game skin lines for esports teams. League of Legends has Fnatic skins for Corky, Gragas, Janna, Jarvan, and Karthus. In Brawl Stars, we have PSG Shelly and PSG Coach Mike. For the last few at the end here, we have Werewolf Leon and Warwick. Secret Agent skins in both games. I'm totally not biased as to which of the League of Legends Secret Agents is better. And my personal favorite, which is a bit different from the rest, Forecast Janna looks a bit like Sandra Osborne, who is the voice actor for Max.
Kablam, pow, zap, sizzle! Why is everyone so slow?
And before she was a professional voice actor, she was in TV and news. And that will about do it for today. There are still several more things that still come to mind when I think of the combinations and comparisons, but honestly, after a week and a half of making this video, I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. I made my mark. I've got my point across, and I was very happy with the result. So with that, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Plug it in, turn it up, peace.